Take a look at this fan poster for Star Wars Episode VII that was drawn in 2013. Then compare it to the Star Wars The Force Awakens official movie poster from 2015. Now, there's quite a big difference. I'm not sure what one you guys prefer, but I prefer the fan-made one. Now, in this poster you can see Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, C-3PO and R2-D2 all united together, which is something we don't get throughout the entire sequel trilogy. Now, I'm not one of the people who hated The Force Awakens, but then when I see this poster, it just shows the potential that the sequel trilogy had, but was just thrown away. If you ask me, the sequel trilogy should have focused on the original legacy characters. Take a look back on the prequel trilogy. The main two characters are Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and these are characters that were introduced in the original trilogy. Technically, Padme was mentioned in the original trilogy as well as Luke and Leia's mum. Now, I'm not saying that the prequel trilogy is perfect. It's far from it, and the only prequel trilogy movie that I genuinely love is Revenge of the Sith. But I'm just saying, the prequels did have a good story, and they didn't need new characters to be the main characters, because there was no reason why this was a story about Anakin and Obi-Wan. And from my personal point of view, I think the sequels should have been about the legacy characters. Yes, we could probably have one of the students from Luke's Jedi Order be the central protagonist, but to just almost completely ignore the legacy characters like the sequels did is honestly just the biggest mistake Lucasfilm made. When I see this poster, I'm just like, damn, this really looks like a continuation of the original trilogy. Like, have one of Luke's students, maybe Kyle Katarn, or have someone like Rey. Literally, you could have Rey be the protagonist of the trilogy, but have her have training, and have Luke Skywalker be the Obi-Wan Kenobi, with Rey being sort of like an Anakin Skywalker, who's been taken to Luke's Jedi Academy. If you like Episode 9, that's fine, but to me it just doesn't feel like a finishing movie of an epic saga that's been going on for more than 40 years. Near the bottom of the poster, we see some new sort of clone trooper. It has 212th Battalion armour, and it has a DC-15 blaster rifle. These could be something like Phase 3 clones. Since it's in 212th armour, it could possibly even be Commander Cody. Some sort of Imperial trooper standing next to the Imperial clone, and then on the other side we see a Mandalorian. This could possibly be Boba Fett. Then in the back we see Imperial stormtroopers. So this probably means that the Empire's back, and I always liked the Empire more than the First Order, and to me it just made more sense for the Empire to return instead of it being the First Order. I know the First Order's sort of meant to be like Disney's new version of the Empire, but when you think about it, it would make much more sense for the Empire to come back. Since the First Order's basically the new Empire, it just makes you think, why wouldn't they just bring back the original Empire instead of just starting something new with new looking troopers? I know Disney was probably trying to get more creative instead of just reusing old stuff, but it would honestly have just made more sense if they had to just use the Empire. At the top of the poster we see some new ships. Now I think these are just really cool looking ships, and it looks like we see Coruscant or some city-like planet in the background. Now I know this is a fan poster from 8 years ago, but this poster just looks so good and it makes me want to see this movie so bad. The best part about it for me is that it really focuses on the original trilogy characters instead of just bringing in a bunch of new characters to be the main focus. In the sequel trilogy, we didn't get all the original trilogy characters together to reunite at once, which we should have gotten, and I can't believe they didn't do that. And just seeing some new sort of clone trooper at the bottom of the poster with Imperial stormtroopers and some sort of Mandalorian that's probably Boba Fett, this just looks awesome. This poster just shows what I wanted to see from the sequel trilogy all along, which was a story about the original trilogy characters and seeing their adventures continue, finishing up in an epic ending to the Skywalker saga.